Harness Racing New Zealand show is back for another year, I'll say. Anyway, Cam Kirkwood joins me. Firstly, hello, Cam.
Good, Paul. How are you?
Very well, mate. Happy New Year and all those. So we haven't been on for about 3 weeks, I reckon it'd be.
Yeah, be about that, yeah.
And we're leading into some of the big races going over the Christmas carnival. Some pretty good achievements. Carter Dalgetty getting his first Group 1 win for the year, which is right at the end. And then Krug managed to make it 2 in a row and be a bit of good fitting towards the end. There was some great publicity with Carter and Dexter. And that photo, didn't that make a fair bit of traction, that one photo on social media?
It did. It did. It was a bit of deja vu, that really. Except they just swapped positions and Dexter was standing on the ground and Carter was in the cart. But yeah, his first Group 1 Carter's, that was pretty special. I was lucky enough to be on course, and I haven't felt anything like that before, so I couldn't imagine what he was feeling. Just the whole crowd, a standing ovation. They clapped for him when he returned, and it was pretty cool to see.
It was Dad there? Was Cran there?
Yeah, whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that would have
yeah,
made it even more special.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. And with his best mate, like Carter loves that horse. It's his best friend. He's been with him right from the sales all the way through. So it was really cool.
He's been, I suppose, one bit of a forgotten horse and also a problem horse, if you like, in a way. I'm sure he's given Cran a few head scratches, but he's the sort of horse, both sides of the ditch. We need horses like him hitting form and continuing to find it, because he's an excitement machine when they can get him 100% right, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. When he's right, he's very, very good. And he's peaking at the right time because he's obviously got those autumn features in Auckland and Australia if he decides to go that way. So no, we definitely need him.
Bit of talk about, we'll get on to one of those horses. Is he coming to Australia is he coming to Melbourne at all?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does because Cran doesn't mind a trip away.
No, no, he doesn't either. I will say it's very, very hot here. It's I think it's 23 degrees already, and it's only just after 6 o'clock here. So the Kiwis may not enjoy the heat when they get across here. That is for sure. Mate, this show is brought to everyone by Harness Racing New Zealand, but also good sponsors of mine as well, who always continue. NZB Standardbreds, who have got their yearling catalogues on sale yearling catalogues available right now. Woodlands stud, they got a huge draft, and also Haras to Trotteurs, as always, and we'll touch on all those guys towards the end of it. But I've got to say a big thank you to those guys. Few achievements, Cam, and we're going to try and continually change the show, if you like. We say there before about Old Town Road coming across here. I mean, there's obviously an interview there with John Dickey and how he settles in, and there's plenty of Kiwis over here in Australia, so we'll try and get some of those to take back. But also going to highlight meetings coming up, and we're going to try and keep it on top of a lot of the highlights, which I think you guys at Harness Racing New Zealand do outstandingly through the year. We're going to try and make sure we highlight those so that people get the kudos, if you like, for what they've been able to do. There's quite a few achievements this week, but it's great how you guys embrace it and make sure people are aware of what they've achieved.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that we do quite well. We'd also like to do a bit better at it because we do need to really celebrate the wins. Because it is a sport, as I'm sure you're aware, it's the wins seem to almost get swept under the carpet, and it's the lows that come to the top. So we really need to celebrate the wins when they happen and recognise the achievements.
Absolutely, and when we get to the end of this, there's a couple that we'll highlight that will have a lot of the Australians probably a little bit astounded, if you like, when we get to those sort of achievements. And I'm not doing them to draw it out any longer. They were just the latest couple of achievements towards the end. But yeah, it is interesting over here. We've got Chris Alford that's driven 7,500, and one of your leading drivers breaks 2.5. It's incredible. The difference, if you like. So we will go. What we might start with, though, is a young junior driver bringing up 50 wins for Sam Thornley. He's just under 700 drives now. He's now driven 52 wins, but doing a great job, this young man.
He is. He is. He's going really, really well, and he's come a long way in a short period of time. He won his first race, and yeah, he's come a very long way, and he ended up actually going over to Australia for the junior Australasian junior champs, and won
Did he win the
first
first?
two or three.
Yeah, he definitely won
Well,
the
yeah,
definitely won the first two.
and
I
he
think he
was
might have won or he might have won three of the first four. I reckon.
something like that,
Yeah.
yeah. And he was leading all the way to the end, and he just had to run top four, and he ended up running fourth. But the one that couldn't win, that about 50 odd or $100 odd ended up by winning and put them on the post. But yeah, no, that was quite an experience for him because he lost his bag and but he lost everything, and it was a hell of an ordeal. But no, he's going really, really well at the moment.
We must say well done to him. Yeah, he lost his driver's bag, and everyone came to his rescue. Josh Dickey and a few of the other guys come to his rescue with that. And yeah, he only had to finish top four to win, unless Taylor French could beat him on 150 to one pop. Major Watson, who actually did do that, and if I'm sure if Sam had to watch Saturday night, Major Watson refused to pace. He just cantered the whole way in a race the other night, so Sam wouldn't have been happy watching that race. I'm sure he's a funny horse, Major Watson, but when he puts it on the board, he can get the job done. So yeah, and I don't think, unfortunately for Sam, he did, but he'll be back. Just quickly, and you should be across this, I hope. Hopefully, I'm not throwing you under the bus, but there was some changes or amendments to the junior drivers. The series this year coming. I saw that last night. Didn't read up on it though, so you don't know, Cam. Cam's going to have a quick look as well.
Yeah, yeah, good by you. Yeah, there were some changes just around the qualifying period. Uh, they were and ahhing about where they were going to get them from.
Okay. So it was nothing. It was nothing major. I just saw it. I thought you might have been across it. I won't try. I won't.
Yeah, no. So what they're doing is they're getting the for the 12 drivers they're going to choose. They're getting the top 4 point scorers in Canterbury because that's where most of the drivers are. The top 3 point scorers from the North Island and the top 2 point scorers from the Southern region, because they're the three regions we work with. And then for the next two highest point scorers overall, and then a wild card, which is chosen by the chief executive.
So it just makes it a little bit, I suppose, fairer for some of the places where it's tougher to get a drive and tougher to get a win.
For sure, yeah, just spreading it around a wee bit, yeah.
No, very, very good. Right, Trent Jensberg. Jesberg is a gentleman who I know because I always have to look up to him. He is a big, big man. 50 wins for Trent. He's only been training for a short period of time. He's had his best 2 seasons, the last 2 seasons, with 13 wins. But 50 wins as a trainer, it's a great achievement for Trent.
And as a super. Yeah, and as you say, like his last 2 seasons have been his best, and I wouldn't be surprised if this season now, is better again. He just keeps getting better and better and better each year, and yeah, training better horses and better stock, and they're winning races for him. And it was fitting that that horse actually was won with Matty Williamson in the bike because I think without doing the stats, he would have probably driven most of those 50 for him. So no, it was good that the combination could bring up the 50 together.
Where does he train from, Trent?
Ahoka.
Yep, rightio. Very, very good. I see him quite regularly at the sales. He's a prolific buyer, and I think he inspects just about every horse. Definitely at the weanling sales. I know he gets very, very active there, but also at the yearling sales. So yeah, I've run into him a few times there. Gentleman who I don't know a lot about, Cam. I know a little bit about because I did do a bit of research on him last night. But John Gomans, I was surprised with the colours in the background of this slide, but they're actually his colours are black and almost white. JG as his combination, but he brought up his 50th win as a trainer. He's only had 780 runners, but he's been training for 36 years. So a gentleman that's not high profile, if you like.
No. Yeah, I don't know a lot about John. He's judging by his stats, he's obviously a bit more of a hobbyist trainer. He does train in the central districts, and they race maybe dozen, 20 times a year in there. So his chances are limited. But no, hey, great achievement to stick it out for as long as he has and to bring out the 50. It's great work.
He did. I looked at his driver's stats
I
up
looked at his
because I got a
driver's stats
bit
up.
cheeky last night, and yeah, he had three wins as three drives, and he's had 1 second. So, but he hung that hat up a fair while ago. That was probably about 10. He was back before the 2000s that he'd had that drive. So the driving career is very short and sweet, but yeah, good on him. And we need more people like John in the industry because we need more hobbyists as well as we do the full timers.
Definitely, no, definitely we do, and unfortunately, the hobbyists are the ones that are getting out, and we need them to stay.
Yep, need them to stay, have some fun, go and keep investing in our industry. Both sides of the ditch, we need that as well. Blair Orange brought up his 2,500th win, and this is one of the gentlemen that I was sort of highlighting, if you like. If in Australia, Blair would be expected to be around that 4,000 mark. But it's so tough in New Zealand, don't have the amount of races. And when you do, there's every participant is just about at every meeting. So it's a great achievement for Blair to notch up 2,500 wins the other day on Peaky Lou.
Yeah. It's hey, he's won near every race in the country. He's ticked everything off. He's a fantastic driver, and he got this for his good mate Tony Stratford, who he drives a lot for down south too. So no, Blair's a great fella, and it's amazing that he's only at 2,500, which I say only. He's the fifth person in New Zealand to do it. But you're saying some of the numbers they get over there, and our most winning driver is Tony Hurley, and he's at about 3,500. Well, yeah, you got some bit bigger numbers over there.
Did Ricky May last year break the 3,000? I reckon.
Yeah.
He's the second one to drive past 3,000 winners.
So there's three drivers that have driven over 3,000. Two of them, ironically, are actually North Island drivers, which don't really get the opportunities. And Tony Hurley and Maurice McKendry, and then Ricky May's the other one.
Yep, very good. 23 Group 1 wins. Johnny Dunn brought up his 1,500th winner aboard Henry Hubert the other day. He's had 26 Group 1 wins. It was one of those little odd ones, Cam, that I seen when I found it, but predominantly Johnny's are on the trotters. He has a love of the trotter, and Sunday's son was there for most of his Group 1 wins. But 1,500 wins for Johnny is a great effort. He's, I suppose, more commonly known like as a training combination, but he's a great driver as well.
Yes, absolutely. He's he'll tell you himself. He is the world's best driver of trotters. He can get a square gate around, and of those 26 Group 1 wins, Sunday's son's probably about 45% of them. So he's had a bit of luck, but he's very, very, very good driver too. Of the square gators, but it's quite funny. This his 1,500 actually turned up in a pacing race in a Group 3 of all. So he really brought that up in style.
And a bit of a stable favourite as well. Jenna's, I think it's one of Jenna's favourite, or she might own him as well, but a bit of a stable favourite, Henry Hubert. He's a fast class horse that predominantly makes up the numbers in the Group 1 races, but he's quite capable in those couple of lesser grade races, isn't he?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Like this is the kind of horse which 2 years ago, I think he ran fourth in the New Zealand Cup. So when he's on, he's a very, very good horse. But these Group 3s and these slightly lesser ones are right up his alley, and he's well and truly able to take these as he did here.
John and Jenna and Robert, they're not scared to travel anywhere as well. Especially on the South Island, they take the horses wherever the races are, don't they?
Oh yeah, they were racing over on the west coast. They were racing right down the bottom of the south. They were racing here in Canterbury. They'll be going back up to the top of the South Island this week and next. Like they horses for courses, and they move them to where they think they're going to be competitive, and good on them.
Yeah, no, well done to them. There were some great achievements for them right across the board, and there'll be plenty more coming, and we want to, as I said, continue to highlight those. I will say, any Australians watching this, the website at HRNZ, if you want to find out your favourite trainers or drivers or anything, it's very, very easy. You basically can go to the premierships, or you can go to the individual trainer and driver there's plenty of ways you can find out all the information and get a bit more knowledge, I suppose. And then with more knowledge, Campbell's comments is not about the punt, but with more knowledge, that punt comes into it as well. So it's very, very good. It's hrnz.co.nz, Cam? It is. Yeah. Well, the NZ part had me a little bit, but yeah, .co.nz. So make sure you go there and check it out. It is very user-friendly, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's fantastic. You can't really go too wrong. It does need a bit of an upgrade in some certain areas, but on the whole, it's very, very easy to use. Just follow your nose, and if you have any trouble using it, by all means, just call the office and we'll help you out.
Yep, no, definitely, and it is very, very good. I had everything set up, Cam. I didn't have the whole lot. Which way will we go? We'll go. Cam's not sure either. We'll go with Ultra Wise guy, Cam. We might go this way, actually. Won the last race for this season. Pretty fitting in New Zealand the last week. This was a Group 3 as well, I think, wasn't it?
2.
Group 2 race, yeah. We don't have a lot of Group 2s in Australia, so yeah. But Ultra Wise guy getting up in the last stride to beat, copy that.
Yeah. Hey, nothing away from the winner, but copy that went massive to be a bit slow away and get it caught on the back foot, and then just go down a small margin. But no, Outer Wise guy, it's quite a nice story really, because it was Tim Williams' first winner of the season in the Central Otago Cup at Group 3, and his last winner in the season in the Franklin Cup Group 2.
Serious? He
So
bookended 2022.
Yep. He bookended 2022 with that horse in group races too. So it was quite a cool story.
I must say, yeah, he's a good man, Timmy. He's points me in the right directions for some driver interviews. I wasn't sure if he was setting me up there at one stage, but no, generally he'll say go and do an interview there, and they're ripping interviews. So I've got to say a big thank you to him. And I'm not sure if we'll see more of him, but we're going to see more of Stonewall in Australia very, very shortly. They've got a team of horses coming over. I think Amanda's bringing, and it's going to be a large enough team. I don't think it's one or two. There could be at least half a dozen, maybe more horses coming over here for Stonewall, who were the trainers premiers last year, Cam.
Yeah, they were. They travelled their horses around a bit, and they started off the season with a goal to have the two stables in the North and South Island and to get the premiership, and they did that. And no, congratulations to them. They've done really well. Funnily enough, Mark Purdon and Hayden Cullen were second on the premiership, and Hayden's gone over to join them this season and join them in partnership. So it's Amanda, Steve, and Hayden. So it'll be very interesting to see what that powerhouse can do.
Oh, it will indeed, and that's something exciting. And hopefully, I think Amanda may be here next week, so I'm hoping to, as I said, change the New Zealand show up a little bit and maybe be able to catch up with her here and do a little bit that way about the horses they've brought over as well, and a little bit more. Just on that premiership, as you said, Purdon and Cullen second, the Duns third. Michael House, congratulations on Michael House, 83 wins. He came in fourth. The Hopes fifth. Then you got Bob Butt, Mark Jones, Matt Purvis does a good job for a man that we don't know a lot about here in Australia, especially. Barry Purdon and Scotty Fillon, you expect those. And then Anna Donnelly. I keep throwing the O in front of her. I shouldn't do that. Rounded at the top 10. That'd be as good a season as Anna's had.
Without looking at her stats or anything, she's definitely had, thanks to the likes of Kango, she's probably won her biggest and best races, and had her best season at the top end. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and look forward to more things. And Matty Purvis, would that be as good a season as he's had as well?
I'd have to say so. Yeah. No, he's had a really good season. One thing Matt's very, very good at is placing his horses. He won't be out here at Addington on a Friday night, on a premiere night sort of thing, unless he thinks he can be competitive. He'll go to your Rangioras on a Sunday or place them where his horses are competitive, and hey, he's getting the wins. So he's very good at that, and good on him.
I think it was a good sprinkle there. Top ends, and you also had your usual suspects, if you like, in there, and that with the Purdons and those sort of names, and then even Bobby Butt, Bobby's starting to make a really good name for himself over there too. So, 2023 could be exciting for a few of these up and coming trainers.
For sure, yeah. No, Bob is just flying. He's getting better and better and better, and his he may not line many up, but the amount of his ones that are in, say, the top 3 or 4, he's a very consistent trainer. And I know you say, yeah, Campbell's comments isn't for the punt, but you can always back him with a little bit of confidence that his team's going to be thereabouts.
Happy to do tips, mate. Don't worry about that. It's just we don't necessarily drive everything off the punt, but hopefully this helps people with the punt. They can find out one or two little hidden ones if you like. The drivers' premierships, Blair Orange beat John Dunn. Blair won quite comfortably there on 186, back to 189 for John. And Tim Williams, the other thing Alta Wise Guy did was brought up his 100th winner by the looks, because he had 100 wins for the season on the knocker. So that was a good result for him. Great to see Sam Otley and Sarah O'Reilly in there. Sarah does a great job for a junior with 70 winners, and then Nathan Williams and Johnny Morrison bringing out the top 10 in the drivers. So you had Matty Williamson, Zach Butcher and Robbie Close in amongst that as well. But great to see the girls breaking into the top 10 and not sneaking in either, well and truly in there. And there's going to be more of them, I think, in harness racing in New Zealand, mate.
Definitely. No, I think there will be too. You talk to some people and they say, oh, they're just a bit kinder to the horses and a bit softer hands sort of thing. So they run for them a bit better. So, we quite easily could see a few more females at the top end.
Team Teal's about to start in February too, so we'll be getting a few on for that. Now, just a little bit of news off the side, Cam, that we didn't have through our run sheet that you threw at me. Old Town Road's heading across here to Australia. We think Ballarat Cup, maybe Hunter Cup are on the radar for the John Dickey trained runner. Actually, interestingly owned by Josh, and I would imagine Josh will be putting his hand up to get the drive back. And Telfers, any more word on anyone else, that may be coming across here to Australia?
Copy that is going over. The Andrew Drake flew out this morning, so I imagine the horse won't be too far behind him. I believe that's all. Muscle Mountain's not going anymore for the Great Southern Star, but I think Midnight Dash might still be going from that stable. I'm not 100% sure though. So no, not a huge New Zealand team going over, but there'll be presence to be felt.
Yeah, a couple of those trotters would have really been exciting, because it's pretty exciting, the depth in trotters over here in Australia. But been over there for that Dominion Handicap and a couple of those other races, the depth in trotters in New Zealand as well is equally as exciting, and it just would have brought another, I suppose, twist, if you like, to what's going to be a great Southern Star. But of course, it's a race where they race twice on the one night. It's the only race they do it for the year. It would have been very, very cool to have got those guys across. Race meeting we are going to highlight, Cam. You were saying there before about Cambridge coming up on this weekend. Oh no, this Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, does it? Thursday. So it's the first group race of the for the North Island for the year.
Yep.
And it's not a huge field, but it's a cracking field. You've got Mataderos, who's obviously out of the great New Zealand Australian mare La Cucaracha. Majestic Man, who you know how good he is, and the up and comer Love in the Port. So it should be a great wee race for the first group race for the North Island.
You have plenty of group racing for your trotters, don't you?
So we should. Trotters are great.
Totally. I'm not disagreeing with you. I actually just like it, and I think it's great. I'm just trying to make sure. So what day is that race meeting on?
Thursday, the 12th.
Yeah, it is on Thursday. Thank you very much. And the first race is at 6 o'clock, which is 4 o'clock Australian time. So we want to make sure that the Aussies don't miss it. And that trot race is at 6 minutes past 6 here in Aussie, or 8:06 for you guys over there in New Zealand. Good fields. Funnily enough, it's a bit the same as over here, mate. Your main race struggles for full fields, but the rest of the races terrific fields.
Yeah, it can happen. Whether they get scared off or what, who knows? But it can happen. Hopefully, as time goes on, it's been a pretty full-on season last year with the racing right up till the end. So it could just be placement too, that the horses have all gone out for spells, and that's just the way it is at this time of year. So it'll get better as we build up into the autumn carnival.
No, it will indeed. What else from you guys there? Anything else, Cam, or is that it for about this week?
Um,
I hope so, because
well,
I've got other fights.
while we're on the topic of Cambridge, it's quite exciting the news that came out in the last few weeks that the race by Grins this year is going to $1 million stake, which will be our, well, it was anyway, but it'll be our largest race stake wise. And we've already had two horses confirmed in Old Town Road, which is the speed machine for John Dickey, and Rock and Roll Do for Mick Stanley. And he already said that he wanted to come back, and he's been given an invitation and he's accepted. So, hey, he didn't have the best luck last week, but hopefully the horse and driver can bounce back and they'll be there full noise.
Yeah, well, Mick's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. I reckon he'd be on the ladder because anyone that's driven horses would know that the vibration in your back can be pretty intense. But unfortunately, just a freak incident with Major Meister crashing into the back of him and cracking 3 of his vertebrae. So yeah, very unfortunate for Mickey. But the horse, I believe, trialled last night, and if I had done my form, mate, I could have actually seen. Oh no, they probably wouldn't have had him up. But yeah, he had to do a satisfactory trial. He can do that from time to time. I believe he choked down mid-race. He got a bit fired up, and the thoughts are that he choked down, and hence the reason Mick was pulling him out. But yeah, I'm sure the race Mick will have him sorted out by then. He's an exceptional horse. Probably didn't perform at his best in New Zealand last time, but he is a very, very high-class horse, and I think every time Mick steps him out, he knows what he's improving, I suppose, at getting him right. So, but the beauty of that, there's some ripping races here in Australia in April, and it's great that there's an Australian horse already going across, which will make the race a much bigger and more exciting race for both sides of the ditch.
Definitely, and yeah, if we can get another one or two over, it'd be brilliant because flying into Auckland's a hell of a lot easier than flying down to Christchurch for the New Zealand Cup. So yeah, no, last year we had I think 3
Aussies.
Ultra Orlando,
Yep.
Majestic Cruiser, and there was going to be Spellbound and someone else, I think. Anyway, and
Yep.
it made the race quite interesting.
I think you're right. I think it was Spellbound who then didn't end up taking her position. I reckon was the third,
Yeah,
which was technically a New Zealand horse, but I think because it was trained by Nathan at the time over here. So yeah, but anyway, that's right. No, I totally agree. I think it really adds a fair bit of intrigue to the race and to that series, and we want to promote these. It's a slot race. It's self-supportive too, which is something unique. Unlike what we're having over here at the minute. But yeah, and like I said, it's a good time of year. It's going to be a busy time of year. Once upon a time, there was nothing in April. Now all of a sudden, it's extremely busy going forward. But good time for people to pack their bags, I suppose, and go for some holidays to New Zealand. They can get up to Queensland later on as well and have a bit of fun there, mate. So yeah, so plenty going on. Just very, very quickly, Cam, with the NZB Standardbreds, their sales are on 19th of February at Karaka. I think it's the 17th is the big race meeting, the Friday night before. So the Sunday the 19th is that. But make sure you pack your bags and get there before the 17th. It's going to be a big week. And then we fly down to Christchurch for the 20th through to the 22nd. That's going to be on us very, very quickly. And I know the Campbell's comments has already got quite a few people wanting to promote their yearlings through here. And we will be. So we'll be ramping that ride up going forward. Don't ever forget Gavel House as well, which is there to move all your horses on as well. And my good man Martin Pearson, he'll tell me off if I don't promote the sirestakes.co.nz. I'm not sure there's a lot of news coming out of there at the minute, but I had it there and I thought, I better look after Marty because he's very good to Campbell's Comics. He's good to the show and he's good to the shirt sellers in New Zealand as well.
Definitely. Between him and Crandall Getty, they have a competition for the loudest shirt.
Yeah, they do indeed. I must say a few of the Aussies have been watching it. There's a few of the Aussies want to start stepping it up, so I'm encouraging them to. So yeah. Cam, thank you very much. As I said, this show is proudly brought to you by NZB Standardbreds, who have got their sales coming up. Woodlands Stud, who has been supporting me since Campbell's Comments basically started, and Haras Trotteurs, who helped me bring plenty of shows to these platforms. and the guys at Harness Racing New Zealand. And I must say a big thank you to them for their continued support, mate. Thank you. Maybe in touch with you next week. We might change it up. We'll any updates and that, we'll put them out though and go from there. But thanks very much for joining me, mate. And look forward to chatting to you in the near future.
Yeah, that got us going. Thank you.